What's good, everybody? This is Chris Crazy House, and welcome one and welcome all to some more Chris Crazy commentary. Today's subject is going to be a little bit more serious than I normally talk about on this channel. I kind of like this channel to be a little bit lighter and a little bit more about fun or pop culture or whatever, but this subject is going to be a little bit more serious, and it's going to be focusing more on the mental health of a lot of artists out there, especially artists who are men. And the reason I'm focusing on that is because, this month was actually Men's Mental Health Month, or Mental Health Awareness Month. And, it's a lot of men out there go through so much with their mental state and their feelings about society, or maybe just their place in society. And it can be very tough for a lot of men out there. And I know from my own personal experience that as a man, especially as an adult, you have feelings of inadequacy. You might have feelings of just lots of pressure. You might have feelings of extreme anxiety, and I know you definitely have feelings of depression, right? So for a lot of men out there, we struggle with a lot, and a lot of men don't seek help for the issues that they have, and usually it winds up turning into some sort of substance abuse or alcohol dependency or whatever, right? And it's just a shame that so many men out there are hurting and have to deal with stuff like that, and that they feel like there's no way out, to the point where a lot of men, a very high percentage of men, actually wind up taking their own lives. And it's something that society itself avoids. It's something that men themselves avoid. But we have to understand that telling men to either just suck it up or, get over it and be a man, that's not a healthy way of dealing with these sorts of issues. So what originally prompted me to do this video and to even talk about this was I saw a post from this artist that I really enjoy, someone who I really respect in the art that they create, and his name is Justin F. Copeland, and he put up a message on his Instagram basically saying that, if I'm being honest, if I didn't have my kids or my gift, I would have checked out a long time ago. Be kind to everyone you come in contact with. You never know what kind of demons they're fighting. And I understood immediately what he was talking about, because Justin F. Copeland, the type of art that he creates, it gives you such an amazing and happy feeling. Like, these paintings are amazing in their color, they're amazing in their composition, in the way that the lines and stuff, the way everything flows on these paintings. They're very peaceful, they're very energetic, and they give you good feelings every time you see his artwork. So, most people would think, because an artist creates art like that, that they must be super happy and light on the inside, to create this artwork. And that's somewhat true, but that doesn't mean that these artists don't deal with certain things. Like people think that about me because I do cartoons a lot of the times, or I'll make something that's very funny, that I must just be this funny, goofy person 24/7, and that's just not true. No one's like that. No artist is like that. And even if you look at what a lot of people say about comedians are some of the funniest people on earth in their observations of what they see going on in society, but a lot of comedians are severely depressed, and a lot of comedians have suffered a lot of trauma in their own lives and don't really deal very well with society, but like their way of coping with it and their way of dealing with it is to create this art form called comedy to, kind of laugh about it, right? Likewise, it's the same way for a lot of artists like myself, whether no matter what type of art you do, it could be just drawing, painting, animation, writing, what have you, sculpting. Your art might just be an outlet for some of the inner turmoil that you're dealing with. Even if it's artwork that is happy, yeah, it's happy because you want to make yourself happy for a fleeting amount of time because you're dealing with a lot of stuff in the world that may be disturbing you. Because the truth be told, I know all artists are not exactly the same, but I do think that there is something very interesting about the artist's personality where we are very susceptible to a lot of outside emotions. We are very empathic to where we can feel a lot of the pain that exists in the world. So it might not even be our own pain that we're necessarily dealing with, but we might see something that makes us feel very deeply or look into things a little bit different than other people do. This is how, musicians are able to write great songs that resonate with all types of people, is because they have that innate gift that they can feel this pain, take it in, and then create something that touches other people in the same way. Likewise, a lot of other artists who create films or paintings or whatever, or writes a great book or story, they also interpret the world in a very similar way. So they might be able to take in some pain or even deal with their own pain and process it and put it out there as something that lightens up the world. However, that is not always an end solution to dealing with any problems that artists might be having. Because, depression is a very real thing. And in this society, I can't blame anyone for ever being depressed. We live in a very depressing society. And I don't want to hear all that nonsense about, well, we don't live in poverty in some third world country. No, we don't. But this society has bred its own interesting form of somewhat oppression that it creates that type of depressing ideas within people. Even just the monotony of going to jobs that you don't like or doing whatever you can just to survive. Basically, I've always described American society as you pay to live and you live to pay. That's basically all American society is. With this quote-unquote capitalism and consumerism, is basically you're struggling all your life to pay for things, and then you have to pay for these things, though, if you want to survive in this society, right? There are no free rides. There are no free tickets. It's work sun up to sundown, and sometimes working through the night to achieve this quote-unquote American dream. And a lot of times that can be very daunting for a lot of artists out there. Because the truth of the matter is, when any of us artists started doing whatever art form that we chose, money was not the main goal. Okay? Yeah, that seeps into it, and it's, that's what everyone tells you, that, you have to take your talent and you have to make money off of it. You have to be this big time film director, this big time animator, or this big time writer or screenplay writer, or you got to create this awesome song or whatever your art form is. You have to be so great at it that people just want to throw money at you. But true artistry, that's not the reason that you started doing it in the first place. You started doing it because it satisfied something within you, right? It's something that touched you. Maybe you were inspired by another art form. Like maybe an example is like someone who loved watching cartoons and you want to create your own cartoons, or you're inspired by comic books and you want to create your own comic books. Someone like myself, that joy that you got from that art form, from like sequential art in my case, I want to recreate that for somebody else. And to be totally honest, when a child or just any person tells me how much they enjoy my books, that means more to me almost than any money they could give me, right? That enlightens me more than just them paying for the product. The fact that they got joy out of it. Like, I had a young man tell me how much he enjoyed my Knuckleheads comic books not too long ago, and that was really inspirational to me. So for people who do artwork or who do any type of creative endeavor, you know, sometimes it can be tough for us to deal with the world at large and not feel that we might be getting the appreciation for the art that we're doing. So sometimes you gotta go back and remember why you started doing it in the first place. And sometimes your depression might not even have anything to do with your artwork. It might just have to do with whatever you're dealing with on a personal level. Like, I've had some personal issues that I've dealt with my house over the last couple of months or so that could have crushed me, but you know, I persevered through that. But sometimes, like, stuff like that will get you down, and you know, it'll make the art less fun for you, because then you gotta, you know, think about if your artwork is used to contract and make money, now you gotta produce more artwork just to pay for your house breaking down or whatever, right? So the art stops being fun, it becomes just a process to make money. So I can understand in that regard where your outside life or whatever's going on in your life can cause issues with even your artwork, or maybe you're having trouble with your spouse or your children or whatever you might be dealing with out here. I can understand how anyone would deal or have to start dealing with some sort of depression. And I would hope that maybe we as artists could lead the way, at least for men anyway, as far as opening up a little bit more about our actual feelings. And I know that's a dangerous place to be in, because I know for a lot of us, I know this is how I feel sometimes as a man. We feel that if we open up about our vulnerabilities or how we're feeling, we feel that that will be somehow be used against us later on, right? Like, if we open up about something that we fear or something that we're worried about, somehow someone's going to take that and use it to attack us. I know it's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to you before, right? So sometimes we worry about that, but maybe we can open up to each other and support each other. So when any of us are going through these troubled times of depression, or going through any type of anxiety, or just having issues, there's someone there to listen without a judgmental ear, without trying to judge someone or trying to tear somebody down or trying to use that as information to attack someone later on. Maybe that's what we could use, and that's what more of us need. So, I mean, you folks can let me know how you feel about this in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you all have to say about this. I'm sure there's lots of artists out there that I have reached on this channel who go through the same thing. So this is not just me. It's not just Justin Copeland. I'm sure there's tons of us out here who have dealt with depression or just feeling down, and maybe not even knowing where to turn, or having feelings of just wanting to shut down everything and not move forward. But you guys can let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Anyway, this is Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.